we're going to talk about what is money, and it's not what you think it is. So as you can see here, if you're thinking, oh, this is money, no, this is not. This is a Federal Reserve note. If you want, you can read a little bit closer. So even if you grab another one, you're thinking the same thing. So we're going to talk about this. So we're going to talk about the main function of the money, store of value. So store of value is kind of a battery. So for instance, you have your wallet, you put the money inside of your wallet or in your pocket. If you're going, for instance, to fix a car, you're a mechanic or a computer technician, and you say, okay, I'm going to swap the engine, or I'm going to swap the RAM, and then I'm going to charge you 1 ounce of gold. This is money. And then you can keep it in your pocket, and then you say, okay, I'm going to buy some food or whatever else, or exchange it for the paper bills. That is the store of value. So it will keep the value. It's not like the paper bill. So for instance, when Ford created his factory to create cars, make cars, so people were used to earn like $5 a day, and now with $5 you cannot do that much. Also, the minimum wage is almost $15, so that way you know that this is not a store of value. So this doesn't store the value for, at least not for that long, and every year is losing like 2 or 3%. So that is why I'm saying that is not money. Or if you have a coin of silver, a silver coin, or 1 ounce or less, or gold, that is store of value. So with this, it will never change. It never will lose the value. The price is another thing, but the value is something that you can keep using it. You can use it for jewelry. If you want to use it for the industry, for electronics, or create something else, you can use it always in exchange. I mean, for instance, with the paper bill. This is just paper. Maybe you can use it to write a note on this. Maybe if you're cold, you can use it, you know, to warm up yourself a little bit, not for long, or maybe to light a cigarette. But other than that, it will not keep I mean, you cannot use it for that many things. So this the second main function is a unit. I mean, the money is a unit of account. What it means is like a centimeters, metric, or inches, or something like that. So that means if you are going to buy, for instance, a car, and they will tell you, okay, is $100, and you say, okay, $100, great, I give you $100, you give me the car, and that's it. Or if you go to a grocery store and you want to buy something, and they will tell you, okay, it's 25 cents, $1, $2, $3, whatever. If you go to another country, you have another unit of account. If you go to Europe, they will say, okay, it's €3, 5 euros, 100 euros. Or if you go to Latin America, maybe they will say, okay, 100 pesos, 1 million pesos, who knows. So that will be the easiest way to remember this. And then we have the third point, is a medium of exchange. So we'll tell you, okay, come and cut my grass, and then I'll give you one of these paper bills, and then you will say, okay, cool. You cut the grass and you have it done. I'll go to the supermarket, I want to exchange it for food, I can do that as well. With money, you can do the same thing, basically. That is money, the other is not. Of course, because many people don't know the story about the money, but in 1965, the coins, the quarters that they were in circulation, they were made of silver. So that was money, real money. And if you buy, for instance, or if you try to get one of those older coins, you will see But from 1964 or older, here at least in US, in another countries maybe it's kind of the same story. They used to be made of silver, and the penny used to be made of copper. So those are those things worth something. So that is why it's money. But you know, over time people don't know, and the government they are thinking, well, they will not notice if we start making quarters, or you know, the coins of a worthless piece of metal. People will not realize, and they will take it anyway. So they took advantage, and then now we have worthless pieces of paper and worthless pieces of coins that are worth nothing. So for instance, in this year 2021, if you want to get one of those pennies, the 1 penny, and the real ones, the one that were made in 64 or older, you have to pay 8 pennies of the fake pennies that you get today. The same thing with the quarter. The quarter, you have to pay, I think, like $3 just for a real quarter. So that is how you can tell if you have a fake money or not. But you know, that happens everywhere. It's a shame, but that is the way it is. I mean, 1971, Nixon said, okay, the dollar is not redeemable for gold anymore, and that's it. So if you see the old papers, the old paper bills, so in 1971, Nixon said, okay, the dollar is not going to be backed by gold anymore. So this piece of paper became almost worthless. So that is why after that you see we have the prices are increasing every year. This piece of paper was less and less because it's not backed by anything. And that is what happens with the other countries, the same thing. So medium of exchange, basically, just so that way I don't make it that long, is you exchange it for another product or service, and you can do the same thing with the paper bill that you have. And then we are going to talk about the evolution. So here, as you can see, we have commodities, paper bills, and fiat. Fiat is not the car manufacturer. Fiat is something else. It's like some people call it money fiat or fiat money. So commodity is, like I said before, it could be gold, it could be silver, so it could be any of those materials. It could be something else. It could be a cow, it could be a chicken, it could be almost anything that, you know, like other people may want to have it. So for instance, in some places they may use, you know, cigarettes as money. In other countries, I think I was reading in some country they have some problem and they were using the cigarette also in jail, in prisons. They use that as money. But you know, if you have, for instance, a cow, you have a chicken, or you have something else, or a shell, and you want to exchange it for something else, people will say, well, I don't know, I don't want, you know, a cow in exchange of a car. I mean, if you want a car, you have the cows, and the other guy has the car, and you want it, and the other person doesn't want that, so bad luck. So you have to find someone else. So, but over time, people were using metals, so it's by metal. So we have the copper, I mean, we have the silver, and we have the gold. So if you want to get something like that, that is what most countries were using for many years, for thousands of years. Even if you read in the Bible, when Judas betrayed Jesus, it was for silver. It wasn't for euros, it wasn't for pesos, it wasn't for dollars. He wanted real money, and that is what he got. So, and that is the commodities. So now number B. I mean, now we're going to talk about point B. paper bills or certificates. So like I said before, these are kind of certificate, or it's a reserve note, as you can see here. Federal Reserve note, so hopefully you can see it. Federal Reserve notes here. In the old times, even if you see it on, I mean, you can search it on Wikipedia, you will see that it used to say redeemable for gold, but now not anymore. So now those paper bills that you have laying around, euros, pesos, whatever, they are not redeemable for anything. So the government, they can keep pushing, you know, printing more paper bills. That is why I call them paper bills or pesos, dollars, but I don't want to call them money, because otherwise you keep, you know, transmitting the lies to the next generation and other people, calling something that is no money. This is no money. This is a piece of paper. Yeah, you can use it maybe to light a cigarette, or maybe to write a note, or to give it to someone else, but it's no real thing. So, and then we have in some countries, it was in China, and in other countries they used to have the paper bills, or the not the dollars. Usually I think it was called something else. So they used to have both. So the reserve note of the bank, it was saying, okay, this is $100 bill. Let's simulate. Let's assume that this is backed by gold. So the bank will give you this, and they will say, okay, is this bill worth X amount of gold? Is redeemable. So people used to use both the coins, the gold and silver coins, also the reserve notes or the bank notes that they used to have back then. But today the government, they discourage using the silver and gold, and the government, you know, take advantage of the people, and they say, okay, now work for free. No, we're going to print this. I think I was reading a few years ago, say, I think to make something like that, it costs maybe 50 cents or 30 cents or to make $100 bill. They, you know, it doesn't cost anything. You have people working for nothing for this type of reserve notes. Okay, and then you have the fiat. In Latin, it means let it be done. So that is what fiat means. Is the paper bills that, as you can see, but is not backed by anything. It's just a decree of the government saying, okay, this worth X amount, and take it, and that's it. So basically, you're commanded to use these type of things, even if you want it or not, because you have to pay taxes, and then the government say, okay, you have to pay taxes, you don't own anything, and you will be happy, and then you have to pay, you know, you have to work to get those paper bills, so that way you can give it to them back for taxes. Well, that is how things work here. So now we are going to talk about the characteristics. So first of all, durable. So this is pretty durable, I think. I mean, it may last few years, but after that, it may fall in pieces, and the government will have to burn it and create the new ones. Instead, this lasts forever. I mean, if you treat them well, you don't, you know, use a drill or anything like that, it should last for thousands of years. So we had gold for thousands of years, and we don't have any problem with that. The paper bills, you know, they don't last that long. So the other characteristic of money, in this case, portable. So like I said before, you can put it in your pocket, and that's it. So put it in your pocket, put it here, put it anywhere, and you can take it to any other place. So it's portable. The number 3, the visibility. That means that you can divide the amount. So for instance, if you have $5 bill, or you have a 25 cents or 10 cents, 1 cent. Like I said before, you have the quarters. You have this in some countries they have a 50 cents. Some countries they have a dollar or a peso or something like that. 1 cent, 10 cents, 50, 25, 50, $1, and then you have the big bills. So that is one of the things. Or you can get one of these that costs like today like $2,000. So here it says, I think it was $50. So this is $50. So you can create the little ones. I have another ones. This is $500. This is like $250. So you have, you know, smaller amounts, and then you can buy more or less. Or like I said before, if you get the quarter of silver, you can buy maybe small stuff. Or if you get the big one, you can buy bigger stuff. So. And then uniformity, another thing is the coin is the same. The US the coin is the same thing, so it has the same shape and format. So as you can see, you can go anywhere, and they make them like that. So the US government, this is what they make. Is the same. So you can go anywhere, they will recognize it as silver, and you can exchange it for anything else. The same as the paper bills. So the paper bills, if you want to use this, is the same thing. Is $5 is $5 here in China, in Argentina, Mexico. So you can go and get any of these paper bills anywhere or in another state. They're all of the same. So that is the uniformity. So this is something very important that you're not going to find in today's time. Limited supply. So as you can tell, these are not made, they're not limited, they are unlimited. So the government, they can print as many as they want, and that is why there is something called offer and demand. So offer and demand is like gravity. You see, I'll drop this and it will fall. That's it. If you have offer and you have demand, so if you have too much offer, you have little demand, this is going to worth nothing. And if you have too little of those and too much demand, and then this is going to increase in value. So most government, they take advantage of this, and they print and print and print and print like crazy, like in Zimbabwe or Venezuela, and things goes south, and you know, and then people have to use another currency, so they have to borrow the currency of another country. So for instance, in Venezuela, they are using the Colombian peso because it's more stable, and they don't have that problem. In Zimbabwe, they run into the same problem. They won, and they had to start using, I think, euro, dollars, and other type of currency because the country was like crazy. And number 6, acceptance. So like I said before, you go almost anywhere in the world and you can pay with this. Some people will say, well, you have to exchange it, but mostly because in today's the dollar is the is the world's reserves currency. So you will take it. I want to tell you a little story. I went to Canada and I took one of these and I say, hey, give me a burger or give me a taco or anything like that. And they say, okay, no problem. Here you have it. And then I took one of their peso Canadian dollar and I brought it here to US, and as I went and I said, okay, I went to, I think it was McDonald's or Taco Bell, someplace like that. I said, okay, give me a salad. And they said, no, sorry, we cannot take that. It's because the dollar is the world's reserve currency. That is why they take it everywhere. Also, if you are, let's say, let's talk about inside of the same country, but if you are in Spain and you go to any maybe of the states or provinces or the same thing like any other country, and you go with the euro, peso, or anything like that, they will take it because it's a mandate by the government. So if you're in Mexico, like I said before, or any other country, and you use their currency, they will take it anywhere because they have to pay taxes and anything else. So basically that is how this works. So I would recommend to read the book, The Bitcoin Standard. It explains everything in more detail, and it's a very interesting book. So hopefully you have enjoyed this class, and I hope to see you in the next one.